Dear Muslims, Assalamu alaikum. Eid Mubarak. Blessed Eid, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. We should all be refreshed. We should be feeling better. You know, we have two Eids, and they don't talk about it. We have the Eid al-Fitr after the Siyam, the Ramadan, and we have the Eid al-Ahad. Big difference. One is bigger than the other. The Eid al-Fitr is the Siyam. That's the fasting. That's the personal victory that you accomplish in 30 days. That's what Eid al-Fitr is. It's a personal victory. That you were able to sustain yourself for 30 days. Discipline your animal appetites, sexual appetites, food, eating, sex. That's a 30-day victory. So you have Eid. Eid means to recur. It comes back. It's on a cycle. Everything Allah has on a cycle. It recurring. It comes back again. The 9th month. The Siyam, every year. But Eid al-Ahad is bigger. That's not personal. That's universal. What Prophet Ibrahim, alayhi salam, what he did was he sacrificed, he was about to sacrifice Ishmael, peace be upon Ishmael, the first son of Abraham. Some people say that Isaac was. No, it's Ibrahim. Ishmael was first, then Isaac. Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Eid al-Ahad is a personal victory for humanity. When we go on Hajj, inshallah, we will go to Hajj. You'll know what it is, what Eid al-Ahad is. For 3 weeks, I was in Mecca making Hajj. I was sleeping with brothers from across the rivers, across the oceans. When you go on Hajj, you have to maintain yourself. You can't be selfish on Hajj. Oh, you're in the wrong place. We slept on the floor. I slept on the floor for 2 weeks. On the floor, on a little cot. That's it. Me and about 100 brothers. We were there for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's it. Not on vacation. We were there for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hajj is the showing of Eid and Ahad. We slept together. We made wudu together. We ate together. We prayed together for 2 weeks. It is no place for selfishness. Ahad means bigger. The technical part is brighter. I just found that out. Ahad doesn't mean big, it means brighter. Allahu Akbar. What is getting brighter? Your intellect, your mind, your consciousness. You're able to read the Quran and extract useful principles that you can put into your everyday life and elevate your living standards for you and your family. Allahu Akbar. So Eid al-Ahad is bigger. We have to get along with each other. I was with brothers from Pakistan, from Egypt, from Mecca, from all over, and we got along together. That's what Eid al-Ahad is. It's the multitudes of creation. It's easy for me to stay over here with just African American brothers, but what about my Egyptian brothers, my Pakistani brothers? What about them? We have to get along as one unit like Muhammad the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. During the time of the Prophet, there were Persians, there were Meccans, there were Africans, there were Egyptians, all working together for one solid prayer, to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah blessed that. The proof is, when you make your salat, tell me, when you make your salat, you get rewarded for your individual salat, don't you? But the Prophet Muhammad said, when we make salat in unity, when we're unified, it's 26 times more powerful. Why? Because many souls are in one. We have to get along. The more we get along together, the more Allah is going to elevate this community, this ummah of Muhammad the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have to do that. We have to struggle to do that. Shaitan has separated society from the beginning. And he's still doing it. Muhammad the Prophet ﷺ said that one learned Muslim, male or female, sister, is harder on Shaitan than 1,000 ignorant worshippers. That should tell you something. It's not about this, it's about this. The first thing Allah told Prophet Muhammad was, Iqra bismi rabbika khalaqal insan min alaka. Read, Muhammad. He didn't tell him to make salat. He told him to read. Educate your intellect. That's the key. The Quran is a book of elevation of the mind, the intellect. We have to liberate our thinking, our minds. This society has put your mental capacity in jail. Yes. We have to break the chains of Shaitan and get into the Quran. Like Muhammad the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahu Akbar. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu an Muhammadan Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah says in the Quran, He talks about relationships with humanity. The 49th surah of the Quran is called Hujurat. Hujurat, the inner apartments. The inner apartments. The inner apartments. Allah says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. He says, Ya ladina anu nasu inna khalaqnakum. He says, O mankind, ayuhin nasu, O mankind, we created you from a single pair of male and female, and made you into nations and tribes that you may know each other. Look what Allah says. The purpose of different human beings on the earth is to have intellect, conversation, so you may know one another. That's what Allah says. And made you into nations and tribes that you may know one another, not that you may despise each other. Verily, the most honored of you in the sight of Allah is he who is most righteous of you. So the best of everybody in this room is the one that's most righteous. Male or female, could be the sister. The one that keep Allah up front, his taqwa level. We have different taqwa levels. Your taqwa level is your regardfulness for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you're not in the masjid, did you get up at 4 o'clock this morning and make Fajr prayer? Or did you try to make Fajr prayer? Did you think about Fajr prayer? That's taqwa. The most honored of you in the sight of Allah is he or she that is most righteous of you. And Allah has full knowledge and is well acquainted with all things. Ayuhan nasu inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin ussa ja'alnakum shuban. So Allah is telling us here that that's the best of us, the ones that keep Allah in our conscious mind. Think about Allah. Every time you think about Allah, Allah rewards you. Shuban, tribe, nations, that you may know one each other. So our destiny, our goal should be to be more harmonious. I started out talking about Eid al-Ahad. Ahad is tribes coming together as one, being more effective in the cause of Islam. Allahu Akbar. Only those are believers who have believed in Allah and His apostle and have never since doubted, but have striven, jihad with their belongings and their persons in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to struggle with what we have. We have to be like Muhammad the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have to be more productive. The Eid al-Adha is brighter. This is the time that you should go to your brother or your sister and say to them, brother, if I have offended you in any way, please forgive me. That's what you do at the Eids. There are damaged relationships between people and families. The Eid is the time for you, your family, and the greater Ummah. 3-day celebration. This is the time you should buy your children gifts. Not this jingle bell thing in December. You buy your children's gifts in Eid al-Ahad. That's the time to buy them gifts. And they need that. This is a time we should give gifts to our daughters, our little boys, our children. Let them also celebrate. That's the Eid. For your family. Do something for your wife, your family, your children. Celebrate with them. Eid al-Ahad, Allahu Akbar. It's a family affair, the Eid, especially Eid al-Ahad. So it is external celebration, but don't forget your family circle. Your wife, your children. Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. Allah says here that we should know one another. We should have dialogue with each other. We should talk to each other. We should find time to transfer information to each other. All of you have skills. All of you are special. Allah said that in the Quran. Khalaqa. Allah says He has created the human being in the most excellent symmetry. Fi asnin taqweem. All of you. All of you are special. Allah says it in the Quran. Allah says He has dignified all the sons and daughters of Adam. So all of you are special. Allah says it in the Quran. If you're special, then we should transfer those blessings that we have. We should talk to each other and share that information. Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. So Allah tells us that we're special, and we are. If we're following the Sunnah of Muhammad, the Prophet ﷺ, you're blessed. All we have to do is stay on Siratul Mustaqim. See, some people get on Siratul Mustaqim, but they can't hang. They back on in the dunya. I know plenty of them. We have to stay on Siratul Mustaqim. And the way we do that is obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to obey Allah. Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. So all of us are special. All of us have something that the brother you're sitting next to does not have. Oh yes. But that doesn't make you better than him. No. See, Allah wants us like this. And Shaitan wants us like this. Once we unify, we can put Shaitan out of business like Muhammad the Prophet. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We're special, brothers and sisters. You're very, very special creatures, creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All of you are special. Allah says that in the Quran. So what we have to do, we have to build an ummah. We have to build a community. We should see minarets going up and down Broad Street. We should see steak and takes going up and down Broad Street. Muslim culinary arts. That's what Broad Street should look like. That's what, when Muhammad the Prophet ﷺ left Mecca, he went to Medina. And what did he do? He built an Islamic government. Think about that. The first Islamic government on the earth was in Medina. Medina, not Mecca, Medina. Alhamdulillah, the city of light. That's what they call it. Medina, the city of light. They used to call Medina Yathrib. Oh yes. But when Muhammad got there, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, why was the light? What was the city of light? The light was the Quran. Muhammad the Prophet brought the Quran to Medina. So it transferred from Yathrib to Medina, the city of Nur, and Nur, light, knowledge, productivity, evolution of the human being. Allahu Akbar. So we have to do the same thing. We have to light up Elizabeth. We need schools, education, and we can do it. Muhammad the Prophet did it. We can do it. You know, when I read the Battle of Badr, I don't know if you ever thought about it. The first battle that Prophet Muhammad had was Badr. And when you go on Hajj, you'll see the plains of Badr, because I was there, where the battle took place. It's significant. Why? Because Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was outnumbered, outgunned, outfinanced, out everything. He had 300 horses, according to the Hadith. Integrated weapons, sticks, rocks, whatever he could get. The Meccans had steeds of war. They had horses. You know, Arabia is known for horses. I don't know if you know that or not. Stallions. The Meccans had swords. They had everything. So Prophet Muhammad was outgunned, psychologically. But the Meccans didn't know who they were fighting. Prophet Muhammad only had 300 men. They had 3,000 men, and horses and swords and everything else. Now you would think, logically, if you look at that, you would say, well, wait a minute, how can that be? How can 300 men fight 3,000 men with sophisticated weapons? look at the nature of the battle. That's why that's in the Quran. That's the nature of the battle when Muhammad the Prophet wasn't fighting for material development. He was fighting for La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. He was fighting for freedom from shaitanic symbols and pagan concepts. He was sick of that. He was sick of worshiping idol gods. He wasn't going to do it no more. He would rather die than worship an idol god. It's in the Quran. So he was fighting for liberation, freedom of his soul. Think about that a minute. He was fighting for liberation of his soul. The Meccans were fighting for material gain. Abu Sufyan. Abu Sufyan was in charge of Mecca at that time. Yeah, that's right. Abu Sufyan. So what happened at the battle? It is reported in the Quran that Prophet Muhammad reached down into the sand and threw dirt in the face of the Meccans. It's in the Quran. Psychologically, what does that do? I got you outnumbered. I'm getting ready to take your life, and you throw dirt in my face. Brothers and sisters, Baghdad is a sign of what's happening right now in America. There are 320 million people in America. There's 40 million approximately African Americans in America. There's about 15 million Muslims collectively in America. So psychologically, we're outnumbered like Muhammad the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. See the picture. We're outnumbered. But Muhammad the Prophet won the battle. Why? Because Allah was with him. And Allah is with you. The same angels that helped Prophet Muhammad 14 centuries ago are still here. If you stand up and fight for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the same angels will back you up. If you got the heart. They're called the Sador. We have to check our hearts. If we're really willing to, we want total freedom or we just want to be comfortable. See, some people just want to be comfortable. They don't want total freedom. So Baghdad is in the Quran to teach you that don't worry about being outnumbered. It's not about numbers. See, Allah is interested in quality, not quantity. Quantity don't mean jack. That battle is there to tell you that if you stand up for this Quran, I will back you up like I did Muhammad the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let us think while we make this short dua. ربنا اتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار آمين. Oh Allah, increase our faith, increase our knowledge, increase our health, increase our wealth so we can use it to propagate this religion of Al-Islam. And have mercy on us and forgive us our sins and accept our prayer. Ameen. Dear Muslims, Assalamu alaikum. Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadun Rasulullah. Allahumma salli alayhi Muhammadin wa ala alayhi sayyidina Muhammad. Alhamdulillah, O Allah, exalt Muhammad and the followers of Muhammad as thou did exalt Abraham and the followers of Abraham. O Allah, bless Muhammad and the followers of Muhammad as thou did bless Abraham and the followers of Abraham. In all the world, surely you are praised and magnified. Ameen. Allahu Akbar. In conclusion, I just want to say Eid Mubarak again. Alhamdulillah. It's a very, very special holiday, and we should celebrate it with our families, and we should get to know each other on a personal level. Inshallah. Allahu Akbar. Allah says here in conclusion, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu an Muhammadur Rasulullah. In Baqarah, the second surah, Allah says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. He says, this is the book, Alif Lam Mim. He says, this is the book. In it is guidance sure without doubt to those who taqwa Allah, like I said in the beginning, who fear Allah, who believe in the unseen, and are steadfast in prayer, and spend out of what we have provided for them, and who believe in the revelation sent to thee and sent before thy time, and in their hearts, here we go again, the cult, have the assurance of the hereafter. They are on true guidance from their Rabb, and it is these who will prosper. As to those who reject faith, it is the same to them whether thou warn them or do not warn them. They won't believe. There's some people are coppers. They won't change. We can't change it. Only Allah can change your heart. Allah makes Muslims, not us. We introduce them to the religion. If Allah wills, He turns their hearts towards the Quran. Allahu Akbar. As to those who reject faith, it is the same to them whether thou warn them or do not warn them. They will not believe. Allah has set katama lahu. He has set a seal on their hearts and on their hearing, and a veil is on their eyes. Great is the penalty that they incur. So the senses are shut down. You can't hear. You can only hear the cries of shaitan. You can't see. And you can't think. Because the veil is covering up your senses. Allahu Akbar. Of the people, there are some who say, we believe in Allah on the last day, but they do not really believe. Those are the hypocrites. Hypocrites. Hypocrite, the word hypocrite, hypocrite means beneath, submerged, hidden. Hypodermic needle, the needle goes under your skin, doesn't it? That's where the root comes from, hypo, underneath. Hypocrites. Allahu Akbar. They are the worst of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. In their hearts is a disease, and Allah has increased their disease. And grievously is the penalty that they incur, because they are false to their own soul. When it is said to them, make not mischief on the earth, they say, well, we only want to make peace. Of a surety, they are the ones who make mischief, but they realize it not. So they're not even conscious that they are making mischief, because shaitan has entered the vessel and is guiding it to hell. Allahu Akbar. So today, think about your Eid al-Adha. Think about your family. Share some time, some special time with your family is very, very important. And if you have any problems, any friction with other Muslims, this is the time to go and say, look, brother, you know, I know we had a problem. It's not good. Muhammad the Prophet said we shouldn't be mad at each other for just 3 days. That's it. That's the sunnah. I don't know if y'all know that or not. 3 days. You can be upset with somebody Islamically for 3 days, and then somebody has to step. Say, look, we got to settle this. This is haram. I'm harboring these feelings to you, and you're harboring these feelings to me. That's not Islam. So whatever problems we had, we need to try to straighten that out with our family, especially our family members. And ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us and make us better Muslims. Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. And finally, you believe in the existence of Allah, but you do not fulfill His commands. You say you love Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but you do not follow his sunnah. You read the Quran, but you do not put it into practice. You enjoy all the benefits from Allah, but you are not grateful to Him. You acknowledge shaitan as your enemy, but you do not go up against him. You want to enter paradise, but you do not work for it. You do not want to be thrown into hellfire, but you do not try to run away from it. You believe that every living thing will face death, but you do not prepare for it. We have to prepare our souls for death. Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. I said this before. Our time is short on this earth, and we don't know when Allah is going to punch our clock. So we should be stacking up good deeds. That's the only thing that's going to speak for you. Your deed, what you did while you were here in the dunya. What did you do? Did you help the community? Did you educate children? Did you feed the poor? Did you do something to elevate the human standards of living here in America? Allahu Akbar. So use your time proficiently. Don't waste time. Allahu Akbar. You believe that every living thing will face death, but you do not prepare for it. You gossip and find faults in others, but you forget your own faults and your own bad habits. And finally, you bury the dead, but you do not take a lesson from it. All of us have been to janazas. One day, it's going to be our janazah. And we should be preparing good deeds for us when the angels come and take our souls to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Dear Muslims, assalamu alaikum. Ikam.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.